You're listening to Life and Shyt. I'm Danielle Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal.
Hey. How are you?
What's up, girl? I never know how you're going to start.
I always want to do it different.
And you always do the bedroom voice. You always try to be sexy when you start.
Oh, well.
People be like,
I am sexy,
people be like, what
baby.
they going to talk about? Yeah. Hey.
What's up? I got a question for you.
What's the question? Hey.
The
That wasn't
question
even
is,
a Fat Albert. Hey.
If you like the intro, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love the question. Do you hotel, motel, or Airbnb?
Hotel, motel, or Airbnb. That's gonna be a new song. Because it ain't Holiday Inn no more.
No Holiday.
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
It was kind of like they were saying hotel, motel. Yes, it's the Holiday Inn, right? Like
depends if your girl's acting up. No, which one? Hotel, motel, Airbnb. It really depends on what I'm doing when I'm there.
Okay.
But I like Airbnb.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Like the concept, everything about it. Mm-hmm. I think I dig it for multiple reasons on the consumer side and then the opportunity side too.
Yes, that is true. I think Airbnbs are amazing now. I do prefer an Airbnb. It's more personable. It feels like home. I have no problem going into like a hotel room and making it mine. So a house is the same, but I get the whole house, so I like that. And the shared room is a little different too, but we'll get more into that. Airbnb, the history. So three friends came up with this idea, right?
Yeah, because it was founded in 2008, right? During in the middle of the recession,
which
right?
is crazy.
Like the recession hit, they launched this website, this concept, and then it's a hit. And
the concept was basically they had an air mattress that they put in their living room, and they made this kind of like a bed and breakfast. So when the people woke up, they had breakfast ready for them, and they're like, "Hey, good to go." And from there, they're like, "Hey, let's call it an Airbnb." Which it was called something different in the beginning, but I don't think I have that.
So three friends throwing air mattresses in a living room was like, yo, we're going to hustle off this air mattress.
Basically, right.
and then but them dudes wasn't making breakfast for the people, though. They wasn't.
They called it a bed and breakfast, so I don't know. I didn't see anywhere that they were making breakfast, but if you call it a bed and breakfast, damn it, you better have some breakfast for me. Maybe if it was breakfast burrito, I don't care.
Some
pancakes, have something.
Yeah. Yo, 1,000%. Because if I show up and three dudes in the house, they're like, yo, this air mattress is yours for the low price of $75 a night. I'm like, all right, well, what does it come with?
No breakfast?
No breakfast. Yeah.
I was told it was breakfast.
Because we stayed in a bed and breakfast. Now, mind you, where I'm from, the conversation about a bed and breakfast never comes up.
Yeah, it's true.
Now, bed and breakfast has been around for years.
Yes.
Where I'm from, never.
You never heard of it.
It's hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, just like how you said. And a hotel is expensive, right? So we going on vacation as a kid. Like when we went on vacations, we didn't stay in hotels as a family. One time we stayed in a hotel, and no, twice. Twice we stayed in a hotel. After that, you stay with family members.
Okay.
And that's the thing. When you travel as a family, you only go where there's other family.
Right. The
so
vacation
you can stay with them.
Yeah, I was going to say, shoot, at least y'all staying in a hotel or wherever. We didn't travel. First off, we didn't go on no family vacation. It was from LA to Santa Barbara. That was our family vacation.
Yeah, because your traveling was like, oh, we're moving.
Yeah.
We're going to Lompoc. We moved to Santa Barbara.
Yeah. That was it. But if we were traveling, it wasn't far. It was just literally LA, Santa Barbara area. That was it. That was all our.
What about visiting
Lompoc as far as
all the theme parks, all that in between?
No, only did that with schools and things. We never did that as a family. Like my mom never legitly took us. I love you, Mom. I'm not throwing you out there or anything. I know you did the best that you could do, and I always say that. But no, my mom had 5 kids. She was a single mom, we were able to be sponsored. You know how that is. We were the sponsored kids that got to go to Magic Mountain or Disneyland. But no, my mom never actually took us.
Oh, so, and 1,000%, because we was the same way. And the only vacation was the one time my mother took us to Florida, and we went to Disney World in Florida when we was kids, and then a family reunion. Which, I mean, if you want to call a family reunion a vacation, it was with my pop's family, and we went to South Carolina. So other than that, it was the same way. We went to New Jersey, Virginia. It was where family was. And if we happened to be staying with, you know, like in Virginia, if we stayed with my aunt, we go to the theme park there. Or if we was in school, we go to the theme parks in New York and New Jersey. And that was it. Well, there wasn't no traveling.
And shout out to your parents, because our kids have that different experience.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because we take them too, there's that. And also because they allowed them to come from New York to Florida to North Carolina. Our kids have been able to travel. And not only that, Mom Dukes took them to King's Domain. Is that what it's called?
King's Dominion.
Dominion. Okay. Yeah, she took all the kids there, like the grandkids. So, I mean, that's pretty kick-ass as well.
So, I'm glad you say that, because our kids are spoiled. That's on every aspect, right? So their traveling is going from here to the East Coast or going wherever, right? And when they get there, they doing all the cool stuff.
Yeah,
stuff
true.
that we never did as kids.
Yeah.
Even like the nieces and nephews today, like everybody's doing cool stuff all the time. So we talk about that all the time. But when you staying somewhere, you know, we've come accustomed to staying in Airbnbs, because the one time we did stay in a bed and breakfast, that was the experience. Like, I always say it was a terrible experience, and you always correct me. You always say, "Oh, it wasn't terrible."
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I've never stayed in a bed and breakfast, so I didn't know what to expect. But it was a group of us. Like, we all stayed together. And shout out to everybody that stayed in that room, because if you listen and you know exactly what we talking about. It was up in Lake Arrowhead. We stayed in Lake Arrowhead in a bed and breakfast.
I think it was 8 of us.
And it was the weirdest experience ever.
From the pictures on the wall to the weird people that came to help us when we needed help. And they were like, yes. And we're like, oh, shit.
The toilet didn't work, so the dude shows up looking like Lurch.
Yeah.
If you ever watch Addams Family, and you know who Lurch is, and it was called the Tom Sawyer Suite.
Yeah.
Like when you put suite on the end of anything, like it's a suite, it's like, oh, okay, I'm expecting Vegas suite, you know, New York suite, LA suite. No, this was a creepy Lake Arrowhead Tom Sawyer suite.
It was very, 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 very creepy. It was so creepy that we made up our order of people who would die. Like, okay, so this is who would die first if this was a scary movie, because it felt like a scary movie.
Unfortunately, and your sister was there with her boyfriend at the time, and he was rapping at the time. So he was like, y'all gonna die first, because you're a rapper. She's a fair-skinned woman. Yeah, everybody had different rank of dying.
Yeah, but anyway, in the morning they actually offered us breakfast.
We had to walk over to the place.
Check out. Yeah. But we were so freaked out. We were so freaked out by everything that we were like, oh, hell no, we don't want no breakfast from here.
No, we sat down. We sat down.
We didn't eat.
No, we didn't eat. Yeah. But we sat down.
Well, because it felt, they were like, come on in.
Yeah, we was obligated.
And we were like, oh, like, come in. And then they're like, you want breakfast? And we're like, wait, huh? Like, where are you going to cook us breakfast? How you want your eggs? And we're like, oh, no, thank you. We're going to go to breakfast. Like, retrospect, we should have sat our asses right there. We would have had a great time.
I don't know. It looked like a hoarder house. Like, they had things everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
It was stuff everywhere.
That
and we
is
sitting
true.
at the table. And we was the only ones there.
That. Yeah, that's the other thing too. There was like 7 suites. Yeah. We was the only ones there.
We was the only ones sitting down for breakfast. Yeah, everybody else was still in their suites.
They probably didn't come out.
And
either.
we beelined it to breakfast. So
let's talk about the difference. Oh, sorry.
I was saying, so I will never do a typical bread and breakfast again. I'm over that.
Let's talk about hotels versus Airbnbs. The difference, right? Like, why would you want an Airbnb versus hotel? To me, Airbnb, one, more privacy. I like privacy.
Okay, yeah, I could agree with you on that one. Mm-hmm. For me, it depends on if I'm somewhere for business or for pleasure. Mm-hmm. And if I'm somewhere where I've never been before and I want to learn the culture, right?
Okay.
So all the different places that we've been, we're going to get into it. I should have counted how many different times we've used the Airbnb, but
I can count.
But it's a significant amount. But from coast to coast, different countries, it was all pleasure, and we've been able to integrate ourselves into the culture of the land that we were in because of the Airbnb. Versus if you're staying in a hotel, then you're going to get the razzle dazzle of that area. And that's not the real.
That's true.
Like when we stayed in Jamaica, we stayed on a resort 7 days a week. We was there 7 days. All you can eat, all you can drink, all inclusive, right? Mm-hmm. And it was magical. The service was perfect, all this stuff. And then when you leave, you're like, this shit is nasty out here. Like, it's terror. This is the hood. This is that. We didn't get the experience of the culture, right? Because they put the shades over our eyes.
Truth.
And gave us the experience.
Truth.
Versus, imagine if we would have stayed at Airbnb in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Me, I want to go hang out in Kingston or, you know what I mean, something like that. Like, if you're watching YouTube, you can see Danielle shaking her head. But right
Me?
now, Danielle is shaking her
No, I don't. Not in Jamaica, but that's just me. Just put me right in near the beach.
Put you near the beach. And the grill on Montego Bay.
Yep. I'm Gucci. I am okay.
So that's my difference. It's like getting involved with the culture and the people versus if I'm there on business, then I'd rather stay in a hotel because I want to be in and out. I want the convenience. You know what I mean? I want to be able to just go downstairs, ask a question, get what I need, and roll out.
That's true. Like for me, more privacy feels like home in Airbnb. Check-in is generally virtually easy. Usually they send you a code and you boom, boom, boom. I stayed in one in Palm Springs before, and I had to go to one building to get the information, and then I had to go to another building that was all the way across town to actually check in, and I was like, this is annoying. But that was only one time. But the check-in is virtually easy. I don't have to go down and talk to someone or wait in some crazy line, right? And then give all my credit card information. It's already paid for, so the check-in is simple. I like that about the convenience of an Airbnb.
Like a VIP experience. Okay.
But hotels are predictable. Right?
True.
Airbnbs, yeah. So Airbnbs, we've gone in, and sometimes they have all utilities as far as pots, pans, cooking utensils, and then sometimes they don't have everything. I've gone to some Airbnbs and they have like food. They have flour, they have seasonings, they have pancake mix, they have virtual pancake mix, or not virtual, but they have different pancake mix variety. Thank you, because there's everyone came and they left their whole thing because you're going to, you're in San Diego, but you're going to New York, so you're not going to take your pancake mix with you, but you're going to pancakes because you were there, so you leave it. So I like that because I'm like, ooh, what's in the cabinets?
That is the first thing you do when we show to Airbnb. You always check the cabinets, and I think that's because of our experiences. Like we never was like, oh, we can't believe like we got wine, we got this. So when you say it's predictable, I agree with you. Hotels are predictable, and Airbnbs are not predictable.
Right.
Because when we stayed on the East Coast, we did a small East Coast road trip from North Carolina to New York. Now, if you listen to this, I'm a lazy driver. I don't do like long 10, 12 hours in one day. I'm more of an hour, 2 hours, and I want to chill. So our East Coast road trip from North Carolina to New York, typically a normal person would do that in 10 hours. Easy. People like, how you go from North Carolina to New York? Road trip. That's not a real road
5
trip.
days.
Yeah,
but you can. We did.
Yeah, we did. We did it in a couple of days, and we stayed at. It was in Baltimore.
Yeah, our first stop was DC.
Then,
but
Baltimore was like, you talk about unpredictable.
Yeah,
we had no idea what we was walking into.
Baltimore was scary. We did a shared room. In Baltimore, right? No.
Baltimore was the back alley.
No. Yeah, Baltimore. We had to go through. It was like we had to go underneath something and then go around and then to the back of it. And then when you got to the back, you had to walk down a couple of stairs, and that was the room. It was like, oh shit, what is this? The bathroom had one of those amazing claw. What is it called? Like clawfoot tubs.
It was a fancy tub. I don't know.
But it was weird. It was weird.
One of those tubs you see in Cinderella.
Yeah, like I literally had to scrub the whole bathtub to make it work. And then we went and bought candles. Like we made it work, babe.
You made it work.
We bought candles and we bought bath stuff, like the little smell good bath stuffs. And we took a nice together. It was a big ass bathtub, so that was amazing.
So let's put it in perspective, because we showed up. We're in Baltimore. We walk to the back alley. It's dark as hell.
So scary.
And we go into the room, and it's more bed than room.
It's all bed.
And the next day, we go downtown Baltimore to the mall, and Danielle finds a little, like a Lush Bath and Body Works kind of place, and gets all the nice, fancy, smell good. And she's like, I'm taking it back. So she get candles, the soap, the salts, everything. And I'm like, you gonna take a bath? Yes, I am. It's an amazing bathtub, and of course, you made it very nice. It was great. Yeah. I enjoyed the bathtub.
Yeah,
and I'm not a bathtub dude. I enjoy all the. I came out looking like a goddamn gold bar. I was in that motherfucker. I came out 14 carats. So it was cool. I dug it.
Ooh, but I'm telling you, if you guys would have seen that bathtub first, or even just the bathroom in general, you would be like, oh hell no. But I seen the beauty in it. I was like, I'm gonna scrub this bathtub. I'm gonna light a ton of candles, make it super romantic, and make it smell delicious. And we had a great time.
And the only thing else it had was, it was the bed, and then it was a microwave on a small refrigerator.
Yep.
And that was it.
That was it.
That was all we had.
That was all.
But we was in Baltimore for a couple of days, right?
Yeah, we were.
So depending on how many days you're going to be in a certain place depends on how you Airbnb.
Right,
and it's funny because I just said how you Airbnb, because Airbnb is like a description now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's either you doing Airbnb
or you Airbnb something.
or you Airbnb something.
So in that East Coast trip, we also went to DC, Silver Springs. And that was pretty cool. We were in the basement. It was LGBT.
Just for clarity, because my East Coast people going to get on me if I don't clarify that. We visited DC, but we stayed in Maryland.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. So Silver Springs is in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
And we was
but it was like 2 minutes from DC.
The trip was 15 minutes away. The trip was to DC, and then we stayed in Silver Springs because DC is goddamn expensive.
Okay. Well, and then it was just the way that I booked it. All I asked for was DC, and Silver Springs came up, and I ain't know no difference. You know?
But East Coast people be like, you ain't really from East Coast.
Well, it's like if someone comes to San Diego and they stay in El Cajon, it's like, you didn't stay in San Diego, but you were in San Diego though, you know. But no,
1,000% you're actually right. So that's exactly how it is.
There we stayed in the basement.
Yep.
That was fine.
Yeah.
That wasn't too bad.
No, that was cool.
It was the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. We didn't know that. That was
it was nice.
Yeah, but it was super, super, super nice. And very, very well kept area. But we were in the basement, so that was kind of odd because we heard the people walking around, and we could hear them use the bathroom. We could hear them peeing like.
Yep.
You're like, oh shit.
That's one thing about staying on the East Coast. The basements is real.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is different. And then we stayed in Philly, which is like our.
That was the worst experience.
It was like our bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
You said it was. See again. You said it was a bad experience. And
no, I didn't say it was bad.
You said the worst.
I said worse.
It wasn't even bad.
When I say worse, I mean just weird, like just super weird. Like it wasn't like it was. All right. So when I say worse, let me make sure I use the right, make sure people understand my terminology. Mm-hmm. If I say something was worse or terrible, that means that shit was super weird and I don't recommend it. Now, bad things don't happen to it. Like we make the best out of everything. But Philly, that shit was terrible.
Ooh, first off, we had the most fun, or almost the most fun. We had fun everywhere, to be quite honest. Yeah. But we had a ton of fun in Philly.
The city of Philly was dope.
I could definitely see why it's the city of brotherly love. And then the actual Airbnb that we stayed in, it was two older people.
It was shared.
It was a shared Airbnb. There was us and another couple there, and then plus the couple that lived there, which were older. When I say older, I mean
retired.
Yeah, like 70s and up, right? They made fresh pastries. That was amazing. Okay,
you're a foodie, so that's why, and you love your sweets. That's why
it's true. Fresh, like we're smelling fresh bakeries or like pastries when we walk in. It smells like a bakery. It's delicious. Like, oh my gosh, what is that? Are you actually baking bread?
Yeah. So my dude had on overalls. So we in South Philly, and if anybody from Philly listening to this, I have never seen anybody walking around when we were staying there. Nobody walked around in overalls.
No.
This dude had on overalls
and the chef hat.
And a chef hat.
Yeah, the big one.
I thought he was a farmer. I'm like, is this dude farming? No, he's baking. And he was an artist by trade. Like he was a painter by trade. Yeah. But he picked up baking, and his wife, I don't remember what his wife did.
I don't remember either, but I mean, they were pretty badass when they were younger.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a weird conversation. It was because it was one of those conversations where, all right, so check this out. Whenever you hang out with white people, especially older white people, they always got to tell you about their black experience, right? So we sit there, and this was a few years ago, right? About 7 years ago. Yep. And she and the oldest, I mean, and of course, you've been on this earth longer than me, right? So your experience is, double mine. Right. So to tell me your black experience, and I'm sitting there looking at you like, huh. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Like, was this an epiphany, or did you want to? And I'm talking about her black experience goes back to the civil rights movement, right? Mm-hmm. She's telling me about civil rights, about how many black friends she had, and back then, back then, and I was like, oh well. First of all, don't count on your fingers how many black friends you have. Right. I don't never count how many anything friends I got. Like, true. Like if anything, I got friends, like 5,000 friends. So we sitting there having her black experience conversation, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about this.
You were there for maybe 10 minutes, and then you're like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done with this conversation.
Me, I was like, I'm all in. Like, let's go.
Yeah, because you started engaging her. You was asking questions.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. She had a lot of good things to say and talk about, and I was really like, okay, about just the experience. It wasn't really just like it was yes, her black experience, but it was also giving me a little bit of my history, right? I love the fact that there's so many people that helped us along the way and their story as well, so it wasn't like, I didn't like black people, blah, blah, blah. It was more like I was there for y'all. I was willing to be in the trenches, y'all. So that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother podcast.
You picked that up after I left. Because you stayed downstairs. I said, I'm going to bed. Yeah. And now, mind you, this conversation was at like midnight after we had just walked in.
Oh, it was way after midnight.
No, I mean, when we walked in, and I was like, I'm done. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not having this conversation right now. We've been drinking. Yeah. We've been walking around. We walked all of South Philly. Yeah, we really did. I'm like, I'm tired. I don't have the energy for this. Yeah,
not me. I was like, I've been drinking. Let's do this.
So, all right. So
it's horrible.
We got to go back to the beginning of that conversation, because when we walked in, after all the pastries and all the smell good stuff, what did she tell us when we walked upstairs to the bedroom?
Oh God, that the bed had been in their family for 100 years. And we're like, wait, what? The bed? And I'm not thinking
it's 100-year-old bed.
I'm not thinking not the mattress, right? But the actual bed. But I'm like, the mattress? Or like, what the hell?
She said she was born in that bed.
Yeah, born in the bed. Like, that was like mind blowing. Wait, what? You were actually born in this bed? Like, that's disgusting.
That was our shared Airbnb experience in South Philly.
Yeah, that was one of them. And then our house got tinted once in San Diego. So we did that. That was cool.
Our West Coast experience for Airbnb.
Yep. Yeah. That was cool. Mexico for my birthday.
Mexico was off the chain.
Yeah, well, we couldn't find it, so that's a whole nother story, right?
I'm telling you, I came out with my military shit real quick.
Looking for some Latin longitude. I'm like, are you serious, babe? Yeah. He's like, what's Latin long? I'm like, babe.
Yeah, I was like,
that's some smart shit.
No.
It's some smart shit.
Yeah. So we lost, now granted,
oh my gosh.
Today we live in Mexico, right? And now I kick myself because I'm like, it was right there. It was. It really was. I'm like, we know where it's at. Yeah. But back then it was, and that was a little while ago. And I was like, and that was my fault because I didn't read the directions.
Yeah, before, because they said call before you cross. Yeah. We didn't think about that. And then you don't have any service when you get into Mexico. We didn't even know about that.
We had Sprint back then.
Yeah. And we were just like, let's go. Let's just do it, And I mean, and no one would help us. No one would give us a cell phone so that way, like, we go to pull up on stores, like, can we use your phone? They're like, no.
No, granted, you said nobody we're in Mexico asking for cell phones. Like, of course nobody.
But someone eventually did.
Yeah, we went to the pharmacy. So we stopped at a pharmacy, used the phone, called the people, and we finally got there because Danielle got tired of me looking for the latitude and longitude.
He's rolling up on people. We in Mexico. He rolling up. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Danielle was mad. She's like, this place looks sketchy.
Tahiti was another place, but we first stayed in Hawaii and then went to Tahiti.
Yeah, Tahiti was off the chain.
So we stayed into Hawaii. That was another shared experience.
Yes. With the cat lady.
Yep, it was one lady. She had cats.
She had cats and roaches.
She had cats and ants, not roaches. She didn't have roaches.
Well, outside was the big ass water bugs.
Oh, okay.
But that's an island thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, but I'm talking.
We're
about,
not blaming you, nice lady who we
ass.
stayed with.
Yeah, and I'm allergic to cats, so I was like, I can't.
Yeah. And that should be a disclaimer. Like, we have cats, but we didn't think of that.
Got to read the description. I think we failed to read the description.
Yeah. She told me about Stranger Things. Shout out to her.
Stranger Things, the show.
Yep.
The things you learn when you go on an Airbnb.
Yeah, I never even heard of this. I was like, I watched it that night. I'm a fan now.
We gonna do a full episode on just like the different places when we're in it, because Europe was off the chain.
Okay, yeah, because then in Tahiti, we stayed in Tahiti for the one night too, and that was off the chain. They fed us fish.
Yeah, that was
I
your
mean,
first.
we were only there for like 2 minutes. Like, we stayed the night and left. That's it.
No, honestly, Tahiti I was impressed with the Airbnb there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they brought us a whole plate. Like, it was my first time having fish there, and
fish and rice.
It was so good. Oh my God, I was like licking the plate. It was delicious. I never tasted. Oh man, that's the one reason I'd want to go back to Tahiti, just for the fish.
Yeah, 1,000%. So, but one thing about these, with staying in Airbnb, it's real estate, right? So people are taking their property and then giving it to somebody else to stay in for a short-term rental. And like I told you, I didn't read a lot of the descriptions, for some of the places that we were staying in. And reading the descriptions is everything. Yeah. One of the other things about that is there's rules to these, right? So you got to follow the rules. And early on in Airbnb, they had issues, right? I mean, and they had to and it's things that, of course, these three dudes, when they set up their air mattress, probably didn't think that people would, be racist or do something stupid, right?
Yeah. But in 2016, they had to hire a former attorney general to help them with discrimination. It's basically black people were staying in places that they generally wouldn't, like us in South Philly or wherever we were, like staying in this
people tell us about their black experience, right?
We coming out of there, people probably looking like, what they doing around here? What you doing in this
neighborhood? But so people were saying like, no, you couldn't stay here,
right? Right, people were like saying that, like, nah, because we have our profile picture. Yeah, they'd be able to deny it. Like, hey, no, I don't want those people here. But it because of that, though, it opened it up for us to be able to stay in more places.
Now, for you to even say that just sounds crazy. Like, Airbnb started in 2008. 2016, they had to hire an attorney general to make sure their guidelines was on point, just like in real estate. So when I did real estate, there's rules of the game, right? You can't discriminate against anybody. Rental, buy-in, no matter what. They have terms for it. You can't redline and things like that. Airbnb was going down that direction unknowingly, and they had to basically rectify that real quick. Yeah, anti-discrimination within that business. That's crazy. Yeah, that is real crazy. And then so. You talked about the difference between the hotels and Airbnb and how predictable a hotel is and how cool the Airbnb is. But what about timeshares?
Timeshares.
Because you got to throw timeshare into that mix. For those because there's people that have timeshares and probably don't use them.
Yeah. And you couldn't Airbnb it either.
No, you can't. But imagine, they need to put that on. Like, you should be able to Airbnb your timeshare.
Timeshares are gangster. That's what they are.
Timeshares are gangster.
Timeshare is like,
that is the most mafia type product out there, because that's all it is. It's a product.
Like, matter of fact, like, let me timeshare my house. Let me sell my house to 1,000 people and only make it available, right? Like,
you almost made me spit my wine out. If you was watching this, I almost spit my wine out. That shit missed my lip. Let me timeshare my house out to 1,000 people.
Yeah, for $10,000. All y'all can stay here. All of you own it. Everybody owns it. It's your timeshare. Your timeshare. Your timeshare.
Yo, that's so real.
But guess what? You want to stay in March? Oh, sorry, I'm staying there in March.
Yo, no shade to people that own timeshares, because we own two. We own 2 timeshares. So you paid anywhere between $7,000 to $200,000 for a timeshare, and the same 1,000 other folks paid that same money for that same room.
Yep.
That's real talk.
And just so you know, that's why you don't get it the week you want it.
Yeah. You better learn that system and don't buy another, and then you can't sell it.
Yeah,
you can't. My cousin's in the business real tough. I'm like, cuz, I need to sell my timeshares. He's like, you can't. I was like,
wait, what?
What do you mean I can't? What is this?
Rules. So Airbnb has proven that hospitality, generosity, and a single act of trust can go a long way. And between strangers, that matters.
That's real talk. I like that. It's one thing about, traveling. It's, traveling allows you to stretch your mind, because, you stretch your mind by a new experience. And every Airbnb we've ever stayed in gave us a new experience. That's why we can laugh about it, tell a story about it. You know what I mean? And now we're actually going to be on the other side of that. We're going to take one of our properties in Airbnb, and I love to tell that story, once we go through it. This week, we're actually going to start that process. So it'll be on another podcast, when we talk about that, going from a rental unit to an Airbnb unit.
Yeah.
So make sure you definitely travel to stretch your mindset for a new experience.
Yeah. And people look at us all the time like we're crazy, because we stay in these different Airbnbs and we stay with people in their houses. But it's never been a bad experience. Now, horrible, you say, but it's not like it wasn't bad.
No.
Nothing. It was never bad. It was always interesting. It was always great. It was exciting. It was different. But it was always fun.
True. Especially that time we stayed in the hood in France.
Yeah.
We was in the hood.
Y'all
don't think France have a hood?
France has a hood.
That shit was mad hood.
We was in it.
I felt like I was back in Southside.
And you know what? I only booked that Airbnb because it was cheap and we were only staying the night. Like we literally got into Paris at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
And then we just needed a place to stay. Why stay in a hotel room when we could stay in an Airbnb for like $49? It was like $49 for that. Now,
see, if you would have told me the same exact thing, but if you used, we're getting in Paris at 10 o'clock at night, we should stay in the hood. I'd have been like, no, book a hotel. But you said, no, why stay in the hotel when we could just stay in an Airbnb for $49 a night?
Well,
that makes sense.
It doesn't say hood on the thing.
It should have.
Yeah, it should have. Because when we got in there, it was like, this is, I understand the comedian. He was like, people go to Paris and they're like, it's like this, it's like that. And he's like, shit, I want to know what Paris is like. I want to know that Paris. He's from there. So he must be from where we came from.
For real. The hood.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, Paris, all right, I got y'all. Y'all cool.
Yeah, we have to talk more about our European experience there.
That's funny. Yeah. So the world is a book, right? I mean, we have the whole world here, and it's a book, and every time you travel, you have an opportunity to read another page in that book. And if you stay in one place, if you don't go nowhere, you don't have the opportunity to share experiences and cultures, and that's all, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we wanted to give about this episode. Is Airbnb is cool, get you into the streets and the experience and the culture, and I definitely highly recommend trying it. Now, I wouldn't put my hat on it, but try it.
Definitely try it. Definitely. One thing that we don't do generally is every episode that we have, we drink a bottle of wine. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed or not, and if you only watch, then you have seen it. If you only hear, then we don't actually shout out the wine. Today I'd like to shout out, it's the Palazzo della Torre. I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm giving respect to it. It is an Italian wine, and it is absolutely delicious.
Shout out.
Life and shit.
do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.